All right. Well, speaking of Detroit, big news this week in Detroit's bankruptcy. The trial has been pushed back to August, but more money for the grand bargain. For GM Chrysler donating $26 million to the DIA to fulfill its end of the bargain to raise $100 million as part of that grand bargain. I guess we really can't stop saying enough that what this grand bargain is, and the fact that so many entities have come on board with it, the importance of it, and really the uniqueness of it.
And this really is a symbol of the revival of the domestic auto industry. For a long time, the big three had disappeared as major philanthropic players in this community, and they're back big time. You're seeing it with these grants. You're seeing it with grants to a lot of other things. I mean, it's all going to, you know, beef up that pool of money that the retirees will have to mitigate pension loss. But now it's up to them. I mean, they're voting now. They really don't have a choice here. There's only one choice, and that's to improve this grand bargain. If they defeat it, you go back to square one or less and have to start talking again about really deep and severe pension cuts.
Yeah, and you have Kevin Orr coming out. You have Mayor Mike Duggan coming out saying, take the deal. This is the best deal.
Anyone who's thinking right now is saying, take the deal. I mean, there's a lot of emotion that is inspiring people to say, oh no, let's you know, prove a point. Let's go to court and try to force you know, them to pay us all our money, which of course is not there. Let's you know, sell the art, which, you know, the city can't be forced to do. I mean, there's a lot of unreality still caught up in some of the discourse, but I actually think that that we're seeing a coalescing around the idea that this is not a great thing for anybody, but it is the best deal we're going to get. You're flooding underfunded pensions with $800 million in private and philanthropic and government money. It's unprecedented. To stare that gift horse in the mouth would be one of the more insane things I've seen anyone do.
There's also a lot of manipulation going on too. I mean, the other creditors still believe they're going to knock the doors down to the DIA, and they're going to get to plunder the art. I don't think that's going to happen, but they're trying to convince the retirees that, you know, that's a possibility. You got the unions at work thinking they can leverage this in contract negotiations. Got a lot of agitators out there who aren't helping the situation.
And now we've got the trial moved back to August, which again gives our timeline a little bit of not the end of September, possibly into October. And Kevin Orr is saying that he hopes he will be able to stay on for that process because they could vote him out October 1st.
Well, that's going to be one of the key, I think, sort of milestones for this new council. It makes no sense to get rid of, whatever you think of Kevin Orr, it makes no sense to get rid of him in the middle of this huge undertaking that he's doing on behalf of the city. You got to let him finish. And, you know, again, emotion says let's throw him out and demand that we get complete authority back in the city. But you got to sit and think about it. He's got to finish this work before he leaves. And if it's not done by September, then you can't vote to remove him.
Yeah, and I think you can count on Kevin Orr being there throughout the bankruptcy. I don't think the governor's going to let this thing suddenly, you get right near the end and suddenly you got a new driver in the car.
Yeah, you can't do
so he's, you know, if the council won't do it, if they won't go along, you better believe that sometime in September he'll be reappointing Kevin Orr to another term as an emergency manager. I don't think anybody at City Hall wants that.
Can he do that?
He can. Well, you look how they did it at the Detroit schools.
Yeah.
So you can, if Kevin Orr resigns,
leaves, and then
he can reappoint them. I mean, there's loopholes in this law that you could drive a truck through. You better believe Kevin Orr will be here through the end of that bankruptcy.